What is that?
Just setting the scene.
Well, allow me to translate. What Mr. Hyneman means with this bucket is welcome to the throwback episode Duct Tape Island with all new behind-the-scenes clips and hilarious commentary.
Sure.
Over 13 years and 282 episodes, Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Hyneman
Sometimes you just need a little extra lubrication.
brought science explosively to life for millions of viewers.
You know, if someone says it's impossible, we just take it as a challenge.
Along the way, they've lost facial hair,
Am I missing an eyebrow?
their lunch, and even their dignity.
Oh, yeah.
They squeak when I walk.
But now they're back together again. In this special throwback edition of Duct Tape Island,
I got it, Jimmy!
you'll be regaled with previously unseen footage and see Adam and Jamie face up to a flurry of fan mail.
Okay.
And finally learn how they really rate the mythical tape as a survival tool.
Knowing what you know now, would duct tape be your first choice if you could have one thing when stranded on a deserted island? That is a really good question.
I'm ready.
I love duct tape. Over the years, we have built, fixed, and MacGyvered just about anything you can imagine out of this stuff.
From airplanes
You flew a duct tape plane and survived. You're still alive.
And I'm still here.
to bridges. That really is quite hairy. Woo! To enough boats to build our own small navy.
Woo! This is actually working.
Yep, and we mostly managed to stay afloat.
Whoa!
Adam!
But now it's time for one of the most gripping duct tape fables of all, Duct Tape Island.
Save us.
Jamie and I attempt to survive on a deserted island with nothing but a pallet of duct tape.
That's right, it's duct tape versus wild in the most extraordinary survival challenge in history.
Well, it's been almost a full day without water. It's hard.
As Adam and Jamie take on Mother Nature using nothing but duct tape.
Ow. Back hurts, my stomach growls, and I'm thirsty.
Can they use it to collect water?
Why does everything have to be so difficult?
Can it stop them from starving?
He got away!
And will it be sink or swim in the ultimate great escape?
There we go!
How will this mythical material manage in this mother of all trials by tape?
Can two grown men get by on a deserted island without driving each other crazy?
For Adam and Jamie, it's Survival 101 and the ultimate test of the durability and versatility of the legendary tape.
This time, we're castaways on a desert island with nothing but 225 rolls of duct tape to help us survive.
Yeah, and as useful as this stuff is, you can't really eat it.
Well, you could, but I don't think it'd be a good idea.
No. So after setting out a really large SOS sign on the beach, our primary task was obtaining some fresh water.
We need fresh water, and we need it soon. Ow. Fan's hot. That means that we've either got to make it or we got to find it.
Ow.
One way or another, we got to be able to move around well to do that. And that means that we need shoes.
Here's the thing. This ground is really not very friendly. And if I were to puncture my feet, I could get an infection, I could get a parasite that would put me way out of commission and compromise my survival significantly.
Despite being tremendously thirsty, making shoes is another safety-first approach.
This looks like a good spot.
After all, going lame before finding water would be very bad news indeed.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I am making each step up as I go along, hoping that eventually this will be a wearable pair of feet protectors. But quite honestly, I have no idea.
Because of the tape's leather-like qualities, the sandals take shape fast.
Well, my shoes are completed. They're light, they're comfy. I'm not sure exactly how well they're gonna hold up, but the best part about their being made of duct tape is it doesn't matter. They're infinitely repairable.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Hyneman's no Jimmy Choo, but his shoes are also good enough for this catwalk. In fact, so successful were the boys' sticky sandals that one fan was prompted to ask, well, the obvious question.
Assuming you were stranded for much longer, would it have been possible to make all your clothes from duct tape? Yeah. I mean, certainly.
A little sweaty.
You'd get a little sweaty and you could get some blisters. You might want to learn to line it in some sort of moss or lichen to get something that doesn't
I think there's a reason
stick
that
into your skin.
Some of the first clothing was a loincloth,
Right.
which probably makes the most sense. You would get the least amount of chafing and
then we don't have to see each other naked, so that's a bonus right there.
With their footwear finished, the guys can finally begin the hunt for some H2O.
Water's essential to life. A person can go for about 3 weeks without food, but they can go only about 3 days without water. Water is our #1 priority. There's got to be water around here somewhere.
I really hope so.
It's been hours since their last drink.
And staying positive ain't easy.
Not only am I thirsty, I'm cranky.
But Adam at last thinks he's struck gold.
Oh, thank God.
Hold on there, cowboy. I wouldn't even touch that.
Why?
This is stagnant water. You'll get sick.
With how thirsty I am, we can't drink any of this?
Nah, we got to do it right.
Crap.
But there's still a whole island to explore, so Adam strikes out on his own.
Clearly these plants are all getting their water from somewhere. I just need to find it.
By following the lusher vegetation, he hopes to increase his chances of finding a water source. But it's still no walk in the park.
I've been walking around for a while, and I still haven't found any water. And what we have here is a classic catch-22. I need water, and I'm burning through a lot of it just to try and find water. If I don't find it soon, it's gonna be bad.
So let's hope Jamie can do better.
It's hot out here and I'm thirsty. I got water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Except I can make fresh water out of this salt water with the sun's help and some duct tape.
It may sound as though Jamie's been in the sun too long,
It's already getting moist.
but his freshwater from saltwater idea is rooted in reality.
I found water.
He's going to build a device called a solar still, which is considerably more complicated than finding salty water in a sandy hole.
A solar still uses the sun's rays and condensation to collect water.
And here's how. The hole I've dug is deep enough that it's wet with salt water. Now at the bottom I'll place a collection cup that I've made from duct tape. Then above the hole I'm going to put some clear plastic sheeting. The hot sun shines through that and evaporates the water from the sand, leaving the salt behind. The water vapor then condenses on the cool inside of the plastic surface and drips down into the cup as pure drinkable water.
That's the theory, at least. Let's see how well it works.
Well, having made his well
That's a big wet hole.
and taped up a collection cup,
Well, there it is. Guarantee it's waterproof.
all that's missing is the clear plastic oversheet. And for that, Jamie is bending the duct tape rules.
I'm making a duct tape spider web as a framework with which to hold together this stuff, shrink wrap. Now, I know what you're saying, it's not duct tape, so why are we using it? Well, it did come on the duct tape pallet. I don't know what I'm gonna use this stuff for, but I bet you it's gonna come in real handy. And, you know, it's survival. We've got to use everything at our disposal. The thing is that all these little pieces don't really help us so much, but once they're held together into one big sheet, we're golden. There we go. Hopefully I didn't use more water making it than it'll make for me.
The last step is to carefully position the sheet over the hole.
There we go. That's the ticket.
And almost immediately, there are encouraging signs.
All that fog that you can already see forming on the underside of the plastic is what this is all about. It's picking up the moisture from the damp sand, which is evaporating, collecting on the plastic, and eventually those will form larger and larger droplets, which will run downhill into my collection container.
It's the moment of truth. 2 hours cooking in the midday sun. What's the verdict?
Well, there it is. That's pure water, but that's like a quarter of a cup.
With less than 5% of their daily watery needs, it's a disappointing result.
Why does everything have to be so difficult?
But back at the rumble in the jungle, Adam's welling up with excitement.
It's fresh. All right, water bottles. Half my task is done. I have found fresh water, no small feat, and that's really important for our survival. Now, I simply have to get it back.
The only way to do that is to make a 10-pint tubular water flask from, you guessed it, duct tape.
I would kill for a workbench right about now.
It's a painstaking operation, but eventually there's only one thing left to do.
Oh, 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 it's cold.
Fill it up.
Fill up, baby, come on. Please hold up.
First impressions are good.
It's working.
And second impressions are even better.
It seems to be holding.
So we had rainwater, but we did not have fire. We had nothing except the clothes on our backs, the sandals on our feet, and a pallet full of this stuff, duct tape.
Yep.
And in hindsight, would the boys even pick duct tape as their best bet for island survival? We'll pull the pin on that grenade a little later.
Aw, I'm not leaving here without dinner.
And Jamie reveals an unexpected personal highlight from his time as a castaway.
Jamie, honest answer, what's your favorite part about this episode? And you can't say going home.
Okay.
Washed up as castaways, Adam and Jamie struggle to survive on their wits and a shipload of duct tape.
Well, that ought to be enough.
So far, so good. But one fan wonders if they think they got their survival priorities right.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently on the island? That is a really good question.
I think we should have spent more time building tables.
It's true. Having a workbench would have made life so much easier, at least to keep the sticky stuff out of the sand and grass.
My knees were killing me at the end of every single day because of all that working on the ground and hunched over just the brush making stuff on the ground.
Ah, that's nasty.
Yeah, and at this point, the most important thing was getting food.
Yeah, and for some reason, we bypassed entirely the nuts and berries aspect and went right to the hunt. I was on land and you were on the water.
Yeah, which in my experience is not the best thing to do because the berries and the nuts, they just sort of sit there and you can go get them.
Yeah.
With animals, it's a whole different thing.
Totally.
Without doubt, tropical islands can be the very epitome of paradise on Earth. Yet for the Mythbusters, it's been more a case of paradise lost.
Save us.
But having finally quenched their thirst,
Cheers.
their duct tape survival is improving.
Well, now that we've got fresh water, it's time to figure out how to get food. Adam's going to tackle the land, and I'm going to tackle the sea.
In other words, it's time to stop starving. But Jamie's first sea scheme to build a duct tape fishing net
It's not bad.
ends with him literally tied up in knots.
I swear this is going to be doing permanent psychological damage to me.
With the hunger clock ticking, Jamie decides there's only one solution: spear fishing.
There we go.
And while Mother Nature does provide the main component,
Give it up, tree. You're going to lose.
duct tape is an integral part.
I might be able to do something with that. There are three things that I can do with the duct tape to help make a spear. First, it'll allow me to attach and easily replace multiple points on the tip. Perfect. I dare say any little fish or critter wouldn't really want to get stuck by that. Then I can also use it to mark the balance point of the shaft, which will help with accuracy. There we go. And finally, the line on the end will help me retrieve it once I've thrown it. I'm gonna go catch me some fish.
Meanwhile, in the forest, Adam's on a wild chicken run. Literally.
I'm really hungry, and I saw some chickens out here. Wild chickens are good eating.
Perhaps overcome with hunger,
I think I see one right over there.
Adam first tries to catch one by simply chasing it.
Oh!
Flies? Nobody told me chickens could fly.
You seriously didn't know chickens can fly?
I knew they could flap their wings. I did not know that they could get aloft that way.
Judging by Adam's chicken hunting skills, the boys could starve to death. At least Jamie's confidence remains unshaken.
Well, what I've got to do is pretty straightforward. Spot a fish and spear it.
Like snaring a chicken, it sounds easy in theory.
Okay, fish. Hold still. Oh,
But in practice,
yeah.
it's a beach.
Oh, I'm not leaving here without dinner.
On the plus side, though, the duct tape spear's holding up well.
I like my little string. Worked like a treat. Now if I can just get the fish to hold still. Just like fishing with a rod and reel, spear fishing is all about patience. It's not like they're gonna sit there like ducks and wait for you to spear them. You've gotta just hang out, wait for the right time, and then throw.
And there's no time like the present.
Ah! Yeah! It's about time.
At last, he's nailed it.
Oh, yeah, baby. Sushi for dinner.
It's a great result.
Sorry, little buddy, it's for a good cause. Yeah, I know.
Spearing anything small and fast-moving is tricky business, even on dryish land.
So here's some footage you hadn't seen before.
Oh, crab, gonna eat some crab.
When Adam got his paws on Jamie's paleo fish fork, he did his best to catch what, admittedly, would have been a skimpy appetizer.
God, he doesn't stop moving, does he? Come on,
It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
It really is, and when push comes to shove, I'm not sure I could kill something.
You just weren't hungry enough yet.
Maybe.
Having been unable to coax a bird into my snare, I've changed direction, and I'm not actually building a duct tape spiderweb here. I'm building a net that'll lay across the forest floor, and when a chicken walks across it, I'll snatch him up, kind of like the Ewoks from Star Wars.
Aye, because if anyone knows about hunting in forests, it's the Ewoks.
Getting close. Now it's time to conceal it.
So surely this is a home run.
The net is concealed on the forest floor here. I'm hoping to chase a chicken through from this direction. And I can be as far back as 15 feet behind him. And I gotta just lean on this line, and all of these sidelines go up, along with the net, along with the chicken. And that's dinner.
Moments later, Adam carefully corrals some passing poultry into the danger zone. Until...
Hey! Oh, no! He got away! Hey! Squirted right out the side.
the force is strong with this one.
There he is, taunting me. Taunting me. He's like, in your face, Mythbuster!
I'm here to tell you that catching a chicken with only duct tape is not easy.
Well, you needed a professional chicken wrangler, I guess.
And the chicken wrangler is a tale in and of itself about this episode. This is something you both did and didn't see.
Yeah, we're rolling. Yeah.
Are you ready, Adam?
I'm ready.
Release the chicken.
Yes, Adam did have a chicken wrangler on hand. But as he was testing the principle of small game duct tape trapping, we'll give him a pass.
Catch his fence up. Catch the chicken.
The real problem was that every frame showing the wrangler had to be painstakingly recomposed to get him out of the picture.
He got away!
Regardless of wranglers, Adam persevered, reset his net, and finally, the Mythbusters stunt chicken stepped straight into the trap.
I got it! I got the chicken! Look! 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 My net! My net caught the chicken! How you doing there, buddy? We're gonna eat good tonight.
Okay, so we did eat chicken that night on the island, but it came from a fast food joint, not from the chicken we were chasing.
I think we actually gained weight on that episode.
I think you're right, but I think that was the frozen margaritas back at the hotel.
Adam and Jamie are putting that ultimate fix-all, duct tape, to the ultimate test on their Castaway Island.
Yeah!
So far, it's actually helped them get food and water.
Oh, that's good.
But long-term survival means stretching their one sticky resource to the limit.
What is hands down your favorite use for duct tape?
I'm kind of over duct tape.
Well, look, duct tape was always ever a stand-in for how versatile a seemingly singular object could be. I personally like it for repairing car bumpers.
I suppose my favorite use for it, unfortunately, it leaves a residue when you do it, but I can go to like the steel warehouse and buy a large piece of steel and attach it to my personal car just by hanging it on the side with duct tape.
So back to the island, and I'm having trouble remembering what we were doing right at this point.
I think you were trying to start a fire.
Right, what a nightmare. Yes, it took me a while to start a fire using duct tape.
It's time to do the most primordial of human inventions. It's time to build a fire. How is this gonna work? Jeez, I'm crow. Come on. It's gonna work by friction, specifically the friction between this piece of wood and a base piece of wood, created by what's called a friction bow. I have a duct tape string stretched on a piece of bamboo, and I will roll it back and forth, which will cause this stick to spin very rapidly, hopefully creating enough friction to create an ember, which will be the germ of my fire.
The so-called bow drill is one of the most traditional ways to start a flame.
Oh, I don't want to get optimistic yet.
It's also one of the hardest.
Oh, no.
But Adam tries, and tries again, until at last his duct tape bow goes ballistic.
I got it, Jamie! I got it! It took for freaking ever!
And once the fire really takes hold,
Now we're cooking.
it's not long before dinner is served.
Not bad living here on the deserted island.
Yep, nothing beats home cooking.
Nope.
With food and fire now sorted, the real life and death hurdles have been cleared comfortably. But there's a lot more to taming an island paradise than that. And next, it's time to better their abode.
Let's just make some mats so we don't have to lay on the bare ground.
Where it's fair to say that there is room for improvement.
Ah, that's nasty.
So as a new day dawns, Adam's searching for some respectable real estate. And this'll do.
Ah! Look at that! It's beautiful! It's like a cathedral. I love it! One of the reasons this place is perfect is I can string a couple of hammocks. Hammocks are great, not just because they're comfy. Thank you. But in an unfamiliar place, you don't really want to sleep on the ground. You don't want to give yourself such easy access to things like, I don't know, centipedes and scorpions and other things I don't want to think about.
Adam, how come you used up all our good duct tape rope on those hammocks?
Jamie, I'm stranded on a deserted island for weeks. I want to be comfortable when I sleep.
Oh, I don't really care how I sleep. I could sleep on a pile of rocks and millipedes, and I wouldn't care.
All right, there goes nothing. Wow, this is seriously comfortable. Like, I'm not even kidding, for television comfortable.
As home renovations go, it's a solid start. But there's much more to this Castaway crib than good hang time.
Oh, hello. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Welcome to Banyan Estates. Can I give you the grand tour? This is the master accommodations with the master bed and shelter and rain catcher all in one, with a nice foot mat so one can get in and out of bed without having to wear shoes. The guest accommodations are almost as nice, with the guest rain catcher and roof, along with extra rope for anything that needs rope. It's all the comforts of home on your own deserted island.
And if that weren't enough,
I can't tell you how good it is to sit after all this time.
Adam goes the extra Mythbusters mile by building a table and chairs.
Now for the pieces.
And a chess set.
Hey! Ah!
Meanwhile, Jamie's been taking an experimental tangent.
These waves make me wonder. Maybe I could make a surfboard out of duct tape.
Yep, with hunger and thirst no longer an issue, Jamie's decided to get gnarly.
So why surfing? Well, what's the point in surviving if you can't have any fun?
And fun in this case comes courtesy of some duct tape pontoons.
That's the last one.
Each stuffed with bamboo for support and reeds for buoyancy.
The surfboard came together pretty much the way that I had planned. It's 4 pontoons that are all taped together into one big thing that is the size and shape of a surfboard, more or less, and I imagine it'll work like one. Time to go surfing.
Despite the optimism, there is a major drawback.
Oh, look at that!
Jamie's never surfed in his life. And learning on a slightly leaky duct tape surfboard was never going to be plain sailing.
Hey. Here we go! Well, that was exhausting. But I'm actually kind of happy with it because I learned that while duct tape is okay at sealing things up, it's not perfect, and eventually stuff can leak. So if you build something that's relying on sealed pontoon, then you're screwed because you've got no ability to bail it or empty it out in any way, and it's going to sink. So failure as a surfboard, yes, but success as an experiment.
You know, that surfboard I built took more duct tape to make than the boat did that we built later.
I did know that, and spoiler alert, we built a boat later on in this episode.
Also later, we'll get the definitive answer on whether or not duct tape really was the bee's knees for our bereft beachcombers.
I think you missed it.
Oh, and here's the answer to a fan question that Adam anticipated before anyone actually asked it.
Why didn't you try wiping your butts with duct tape? And to that I say, really, give me a break.
Over the years, the Mythbusters have built their fair share of unlikely contraptions from duct tape, which got one viewer wondering.
Of all the things you've built or repaired from duct tape before or since, which would have been the most useful in getting you off the island?
Well, I'd go back to that duct tape sailboat.
Yeehaw!
It actually was durable. It had a sail.
It's certainly the most practical, but for impractical and exciting, I'm going to go for airplane. Duct tape airplane. I don't know how we get it off the ground, but
Sure.
Although Adam and Jamie's island survival's not gone quite this well,
This is gonna be a cinch.
it has been a resounding success. Because after 4 days as duct tape castaways, they're physically fresh. Mentally focused.
Oh, crap, I'm in check.
And so well fed that a nosy chicken is more pet than picnic. So with their short-term survival sorted, the Mythbusters are dreaming of one final thing: escape.
We've made ourselves a nice little home on this island. Duct tape's provided us everything we need: food, fire, water. We can stay here as long as we like, but rescue's not coming. It's time for us to get ourselves off this island.
In other words, it's time to build a boat. So, cue the banyan tree brainstorm.
So, we gotta make a duct tape boat, and it's gotta be ocean-worthy for probably a significant distance. We're gonna have to have a couple weeks worth of water, a couple weeks worth of food.
Bailers.
Bailers, yeah.
It's gonna have to be pretty good sized, like 20 feet or so.
What about a canoe design where we paddle it?
Yeah, a canoe design's pretty efficient, but if we do that, we're gonna have to make outriggers.
You mean like one of those pontoon things off to the side?
Yeah, for stability.
We'll make it all out of duct tape and bamboo.
It's light and it's strong.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Our boat design is pretty straightforward. It's basically going to be a canoe. It's going to be about 20 feet long. This should be plenty of room for both me and Jamie and all the provisions we're going to need for our ocean journey. The canoe will also have an outrigger for stability. Its frame going to be made out of bamboo, and it's going to be skinned in several layers of duct tape.
Said like that, it sounds easy.
Bamboo! We can totally use this.
Yeah.
But this project will put all of their other island innovations firmly in the shade.
We're no strangers to building duct tape boats, but for the first one, we had steel and a welder to make the frame.
Ah, it's pretty.
Out here, all we've got is this stuff and duct tape, and that's a whole different kettle of fish. And so you kind of have to build your own work table, your own jig, because otherwise you end up with this stuff full of dirt and pine needles and everything's all sloppy. We can't have that, especially when we're talking about a waterproof boat.
So having jerry-rigged a jig,
Perfect.
Adam and Jamie first focus on the canoe's bamboo mainframe, starting with the sides.
Look at that. That's already feeling like a boat. One in front, one in back, paddling.
Yeah, this is just wide enough to sit inside there.
Next, the guys turn their attention to the hull's base.
That's gonna be awesome.
Then they position a myriad of internal cross struts for maximum strength.
Ta-da!
Everything, of course, bound together with duct tape.
The degree to which the stickiness of duct tape precludes the need for knots is one of my favorite qualities of it.
Except that knots you can untie.
Yes, this is true.
It's a fine enough piece of work to make one fan wonder if this beach build was really on the up and up.
Row, row, rotate your boat. That's awesome.
Did you really only use readily available material like bamboo and duct tape to build the outrigger? Did we cheat with extra materials, is what they're asking. No, I think it was just bamboo. That was real. That was an awesome build. One thing, the pads of our fingers were bruised from tearing duct tape.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
The boat design we have here is basically a canoe. And that's fine if you're on a lake, but we're not. We're on the ocean, and we need a lot more stability so we don't tip over in the waves. Now, the traditional way of dealing with that is with an outrigger. And so that's what we're going to put on this.
The outrigger is like the canoe's baby brother. It, too, has a bamboo frame.
That ought to work.
And it, too, needs a duct tape skin.
We're gonna skin this boat once with the tape facing out. Attention to detail means the boat doesn't leak. Then we're gonna skin it again with the tape facing in. My fingers are raw from being stuck to tape repeatedly. Ow! This should give us a really secure, leathery duct tape skin. Hopefully keeps the water out and gets us home.
You know, Adam, I sure hope this works.
You and me both, man.
It's a time-consuming
Getting closer.
and somewhat painful process.
Ow. All this sticky stuff is giving me nightmares.
But after a full 6 hours, their rescue raft is as good as done.
You're like, ah, look at that!
I think this is going to work great.
That is really, really pretty. Well, a couple dozen rolls of duct tape, a couple 100 feet of bamboo, and some ingenuity. I am super pleased with how this boat has turned out. My fingers are raw from tearing so many thousands of pieces of tape, and I think it might just be seaworthy.
Ready to carry it out?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right.
Let's do it.
You know, I feel quite nostalgic about all the stuff we built on these episodes. And when we wrapped up the shop, I kept as many of the duct tape props as I could fit into my storage space.
I guess I'm a little less sentimental.
Shocker.
But just how sentimental are they about that pallet of tape? Was it the answer to a castaway's prayers? In a few short minutes, Adam and Jamie reveal all.
Knowing what you know now, would duct tape be your first choice if you could have one thing when stranded on a deserted island?
Mental stimulation.
You know, I don't think we've ever actually played a game of chess together before.
is critical for our castaways' well-being.
There's a bug on my Bishop.
It is actually a proven fact that keeping yourself mentally acute with something like a game of chess makes you better at problem solving. And surviving in a situation like this is all about problem solving.
Checkmate.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
It also helps to have a companion, or two.
By the way, what's with the chicken?
Oh, well, that's Wilson. He's my new friend.
And if resources run low, it doesn't hurt to have a pal you can throw into the pot. As attentive viewers will have noted, Adam and Jamie never hid the fact that they spent their nights in relative luxury just a stone's throw from their desert island. But just for the record,
You know, for all the talk about the fact that we weren't on a deserted island, and that's true, we were staying in hotel rooms each night, I want to point out that we did, in fact, build everything that you saw us build on camera on that show.
Yeah, we straight up built that duct tape outrigger with our own hands. But the thing is that how are we supposed to know that it's actually going to float? We just sort of said, oh, that looks about right.
Yep, there's nothing to do once we were done but try it out.
We've built ourselves a boat. We have provisioned it for at least a few weeks at sea, and soon we're about to head out into the great blue yonder to try and get ourselves home.
And when Adam says they provisioned it for a few weeks, he's not exaggerating.
Here's what we're taking on our journey. We got rope, we got fishing line, we got bailers, oars, duct tape, we have tarps, we have water bags, food bags, and a fishing spear. That doesn't help us make it. We weren't meant to.
I think we're ready to put it in, huh?
Let's carry it down.
All right. At this point, we found that duct tape is not a perfect solution for anything. But with some creativity and a pinch, it's an adequate solution for just about everything. Now, whether it'll hold up to a boat that has to get us across the ocean, there's only one way to find out. Okay. And it was the wave.
As the guys clamber in, it's worth highlighting that the one thing they don't have is a map.
It's working.
Oh, yeah, baby!
Like real castaways, they're simply going to paddle until they find land or sink.
Pontoon's looking great.
But with the breaking waves approaching, sinking is a very real possibility.
Oh, no, here we go. Whoa! Hey, it took it. It's another one coming. It's bigger.
Uh-oh, dude!
There we go.
There's no two ways about it, but those breakers were intense. Remember, we're sitting there in a canoe made of duct tape, paddling towards waves that were like 3 or 4 feet higher than the prow of our boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It was absolutely terrifying, but once we made it past, totally knew we had passed one of the worst hurdles we could, and the boat was going to be okay.
2 hours in, and with their island now a distant memory,
I can't see the shore anymore.
We're in open water now. You know, dude, this boat, strongest case yet. The duct tape is a frickin' miracle material.
Yep, there's no underestimating the power of duct tape.
with neither a leak nor a tear, you might say it's been plain sailing. And what's more,
dude, land! I see it. I can't believe this boat actually held up.
I know.
Our little duct tape boat did great.
Yeah.
Held up through the breakers.
There we go.
It held up in the open water, and it held up in the sun.
Yeah.
And it did that despite only weighing about 100 pounds.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out.
Which for a boat that size is incredibly lightweight. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the duct tape right now.
Excellent.
Well, duct tape's the stuff. Not only did it help us survive on the island, it helped us get off the island, and ultimately, it helped us find civilization.
Adam, It's the same island.
All right, Jamie, honest answer. What's your favorite part about this episode? And you can't say going home.
Okay, then I think it was the poke in the restaurant. I never had poke before.
That dish, tuna poke that we ate almost every single night.
With seaweed on it.
It was delicious. My favorite was our encampment around that banyan tree. It really did have all the comforts of home, and I was very relaxed. Relaxed enough, you know, I actually took a nap in the hammock on our campsite.
Well, we've skirted the issue long enough. Time to find out if the fabled tape really would be their desert island MVP.
This is seriously comfortable.
Knowing what you know now, would duct tape be your first choice if you could have one thing when stranded on a deserted island?
No.
No, not really. Not really. You know, one thing I remember, because it's here on the table, the smell, it's not very appetizing.
Yeah, I gotta say, duct tape in general, it's useful, but I think it could stand a lot of improvement, actually.
Certainly. Jamie Hyneman coming out with his new brand of duct tape at some point in your future.
Let's be honest, duct tape, not our favorite stuff.
No, it's not. What it is an excellent tool for telling stories about ingenuity and invention with limited time and limited materials.
And that is one of our favorite things.